It's the most wonderful day of the year. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm so happy to be alive and well today and to have this opportunity to share a Merry Christmas with you. 25th day of December is considered a very beautiful and special day. I know every day of the year is once in a year, but I mean for the December 25th is always so special. So I wish you and Channels family right here, especially the business desk here on Channels Television, we wish you a very, very Merry Christmas today and every day, especially in this festive season. Good morning, everyone. We still have to do business. 55 minutes of current and relevant talks. That's what we do on Business Morning. So even on Christmas Day, we will still do that. And so we'll start with issues around Nigeria, where we hear that Nigeria's fiscal deficit widened to 5.7 trillion naira in the first 6 months of this year because of significantly low revenue and increased spending by the government. This is according to the Office of Budget and National Planning. In its newly released budget implementation report, the Budget Office says that revenue for the first half of the year stood at 10.18 trillion naira, which is about a quarter of the total expected revenue for the year, estimated at more than 40 trillion naira. The report emphasizes that Nigeria's gross oil revenue continued to underperform according to budget expectations in the first half of 2025, recording large shortfalls in both the first and second quarters of the year, while the distributable revenue to all tiers of government stayed far below expectations. That's for the first half of the year. Well, we're almost in 2026, and so plans are on. In Enugu State, the governor, Peter Amba, has signed the appropriation bill of 1.6 trillion naira into law. While assenting to the bill at the Government House, Enugu, the governor notes that the year's budget, tagged Budget of Renewed Momentum, is built on empowerment and education, inclusive and people-centered development, good governance, and economic transformation. He reiterates that no region in the state will be left out in the year infrastructural development program.
We're happy that you understand that urgency and that you're giving us all the support we need to succeed. This budget, as you already know, is people-centered, it's people-centric. It's also anchored on the principle of inclusivity and sustainable development. So it means that nobody and no part of our state is left out or left behind. It is very inclusive. The inclusivity we started with making sure that our intervention in education, in healthcare, in agriculture are all inclusive. It's consistent with what we have demonstrated here.
Well, there's no Christmas without food, so we're going to talk a lot about food today. Food trucks entering Lagos are being stopped and charged along the way by officers and touts operating outside the official tax system. That's what we have found out. Drivers and traders say these repeated collections are raising transport costs and pushing up food prices. Our correspondent, Will Ibon, went to roads and markets to see how these charges are affecting what you pay when you buy your food.
This is Berger, one of Lagos' busiest entry points and a major gateway for food supplies. What you're watching is not a toll gate. There is no receipt, yet money is collected. These collections happen daily, drivers say, by a mix of uniformed officers and touts. They call it settlement, an informal tax paid simply to keep moving.
So that's why we need to get some problem. You must be give. If you don't give, they delay you.
Ba duka bane. We stop in about 15 to 20 points. We pay money in about 7 to 8 checkpoints, but some will ask you to go. We pay 500 to 1,000 naira at each point. For us that have trucks, they'll ask us to pay 1,000, but some might ask for more. We usually pay to avoid delay.
There are areas where the government receipts will charge 200 naira or at most 500 naira, but the collectors will demand for 1,500 naira or 2,000 naira by force. That is why the price of foodstuff keep rising.
Drivers transporting food from producing states into Lagos say refusal is rarely an option. Delay can mean spoilage and financial loss.
The major challenge we face on the road is at the military checkpoints. Sometimes you carry just 40 baskets, and at every point they collect 500 to 1,000 naira. If you don't pay, they hold your boy.
The J5 Trucks Association confirms these payments are widespread and unofficial.
Let's say from here, Lagos to Abuja, let me put it like 200,000, and I will spend like 80,000 naira on the road. The remaining money, maybe what I will see there is not up to 120. Out of that 120, I will settle the owner of the vehicle. The remaining money is how much. So if I want to charge, I will charge access more. I will put all the expenses on the road that I used to see on the road.
They provided copies of official receipts for authorized payments, highlighting the difference between formal collections and informal road levies. The cost of the unofficial payments, drivers say, is still transferred, not absorbed.
There's some boys along the road for beggar there. The boundary between Lagos and Ogun State. They will all stick. Sometimes they break our front glass. They will say they're collecting revenue for if for local government or whatever. I will not know their office. I know how they used to collect our money every day. And they used to cause accidents along the way.
Traders allege that some road collectors claim to represent local governments, including Ifo local government area in Ogun State. These raises questions about authorization and enforcement. We put these claims to the chairman of Ifo local government area.
There's always all these bad people wanting to extort people using the name of development. So whenever information like this comes to me, I do a press release, and immediately I get information sent to the police to do arrest of individuals. At times I go there myself to do the arrest.
But drivers insist the collections continue, often without receipts, and no clarity on who ultimately authorizes them. In December 2025, Nigeria's Joint Revenue Board announced a nationwide ban on road taxes, stickers, and illegal checkpoints, warning that such collections distort prices and undermine the economy. The policy aims to eliminate exactly what drivers describe here. At Mile 12, Nigeria's largest food market, traders say the impact is direct and unavoidable.
If you want to hire a truck from the north to Lagos, let's say you hire them, you will hire the motor, you will hire the trucks from the north, 1.5, some 1.450. So inside that 1.5, driver they are spending money for that inside 1.5. Nothing concerns the owner of the tomatoes, because they charge the owner before they are coming. One thing that they are lamenting about the oil is too cost, and the security and this taking point too much for the road. That's why they're increasing the price of the higher price of the trucks to the Lagos.
Nigeria's latest inflation data shows food inflation slowing on paper. But traders and drivers say these informal road costs still shape what Nigerians pay daily. The tax is not written into law. It is not paid at the revenue office. Yet, it is collected openly on Nigeria's roads, and in the end, it is paid again at the market. But until enforcement matches policy, drivers and traders say unofficial road charges will continue to find their way into the price of food. Will Iban, Channels Television News.
Yes, that's it. It's a reality that is being faced on the road. They call it settlement, uncaptured, unrecorded taxes, which you and I have to pay for at the end of the road. We're going to discuss that more. Now, one of the markets featured there is the Mile 12 International Market. We have the chairman right here, Mr. Shehu Usman. Mr. Usman, good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
Good morning. Merry Christmas and compliment of the season.
Yeah, so I'm sure you saw part of that report where Will went around and we had, especially right here close to us in Bega, we see that a lot. And she tried to reach out to the local government chairman. He did say that they know these things are happening, but I mean, it seems nobody can do something about it.
Actually, we've been doing something about it, particularly the leaders of the various markets. We come across to understand that most of the hike price do come from multiple taxations. And I could remember vividly during President Muhammadu Buhari regime, we were taken to the presidency by Hajja Hadiza Osman to narrate our issues, discuss the issue of the multiple taxation from state to state. And I can equally recall that the 19 state governors, once we took our petitions to them as regard what is happening, and we discussed the issues too, and all the governors then agreed that nobody should be at the toll point to collect money from them. And then when we went to the Mr. President, he actually gave order that we should pay money from the loading point and the offloading point. But you know, sometimes if you don't follow things, it will continue to happen. That was the agreement we have with the federal government then, that you pay money at the loading point and you also pay at offloading point. So nobody will take money from, like from Kano to Lagos, nobody should take money from you, except you buy in Kano market, you pay revenue for that local government. And when you offload in anywhere in the south or anywhere you take it to, you also pay the tax you are supposed to pay, the revenue you are supposed to pay. Or since then, that's what's happening. But you know, at least some of these states are still on it, like Kwara State, Niger State, all those states across from Kano, they collect revenue. So I think it also adds, you know, to the prices of perishable items.
What can we do about it? Because I mean, we saw that even in that report, it's been banned. All those roads, tolls and levies on the road, it's been banned. And some of the drivers there sharing their experiences on the road. What else can we do?
For us, we absolutely cannot do anything because we cannot take law into our hand, except the government, you know, put in place a task force that will be monitoring those people within the state. And it also gives rooms to bad people like armed robbers that, you know, they will just disguise as if they're security also. They will stop the truck, collect whatever the driver has, whoever follows the truck, they also collect money from him. So it also costs so many things. Even in Lagos here, at a toll gate, it was even by the grace of God and the grace of the then former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Rajiv that stood for us on that time, because that time you see many tickets, more than 20 tickets in toll gates here. But the governor then had to say, look, I don't want anybody to be in that place. He has to drop everybody. In fact, he stopped the Lagos State, even the Lagos State tax, he stopped them from collecting. It was later we now resolved to say, okay, whatever we are going to give Lagos State, we should give them from the various markets we sell.
The local government, because some of these boys will say they are local government boys, can the local government not do anything about it?
No, what we know about local government is local government has right for every market. And the local government must collect tax or their revenue in the market. For most of this market in Lagos, revenue, for peace to reign, most of this local government gives the revenue to the traders, to the leaders. Like for us, we collect for local government and we dismantle for them whatever it is there. So there won't be any clash. But those ones from the roadside, Those are the problem we have. And of course,
because some of them say they are representing
they operate mostly in the night, and there's nothing we could do for them. We've written several petitions to police as regard what they are doing for us in the road, but up till now there's no tangible things, no action is taken, on that issues.
And they seem to be very powerful, because we had some of the transporters there saying if you don't pay, of course they'll break your mirror. They can seize your assistance and all.
A lot of things happen in the roadside, but of course you just have to pay them, because you are just maybe 2 or 3 in the vehicle while there are almost 10, standing in the roadside. If you don't pay them whatever you have, if you don't have any money, they may probably drop your 3 baskets of tomato that will be equivalent to their money. If it is cow, they can drop small one. They do that, everybody knows. But I think there is need for federal government to take a drastic action for those people, so that at least things will be better.
Especially now that we are beginning a new tax reform, and the governor of Lagos State, for instance, has promised that they are working with the local government and they will ensure that all these non-state actors will be removed from the road.
Lagos State is perfect. Honestly, they're perfect in terms of their activities with the traders. We don't have problem with Lagos State. The problem we have is in the roadside, and that roadside is a road where you don't have multiple, nobody who can even protect you. That's the problem we have. Nobody can protect you. But in Lagos, who will come and ask you for anything? But within this northern state, from Kaduna State, Niger State, Kwara State, up to Oyo State, you see, in fact, recently Oyo State government, they said they want to collect 150,000 naira from a truck of maize. Honestly speaking, that's what we're into now. So it is so bad. Luckily enough for us, food items are becoming very cheap every day now. Food items is drastically dropping. I think we should support the government to ensure that things go smoothly for them.
And while we celebrate that, of course, all of this money, the 150 you said, 1,000 naira, and the others, they will still sip into the price of food at the end of the day, because consumers have to bear it.
Yeah, it will rise up. It will rise up, honestly. So these are the things I think federal government need to look into. When they look into that, I think things will get better more.
But already, when we look at the price of food compared to last year, I think we're in a better place this year, yeah?
Far, far better. And I will give kudos to the president of Federal Nigeria.
Is it the president that did it?
No,
what are the things? Let's find out what are the things that have driven.
See,
yes.
Every government that comes has its own issues. When price hike, you blame the president. Is that not? So when food prices are coming down to...
Let's praise the president.
Let's praise the president. Okay. That's how it should be. That's normal, honestly.
Yeah.
Of course, there's nothing we can do. Last year price was so high that people cannot even come. But yesterday in the market, you can see, even me from the roadside to the market, even to trek, there are a lot of people. It means people see that this thing is very cheap. Anybody can come. Every house is now get food. I can tell you for free.
Every house
in this country gets food because it is cheap. Last year, rice is about 100,000 naira, 100,000 naira. So how many people have 100 naira to buy? You see people sharing, 10 people sharing bag of rice. But this year you can pick a bag. It's kudos.
How much is it this year?
50 something. 50,
is it long grain?
56, 54. That's why they sell rice. The highest maybe 60. Gari last year was about almost 60,000, 70,000. Today it's 24,000 naira. Who do you give kudos to? Do you give kudos to Malta Market Chairman? You give kudos to the president who has done very well to ensure that things are getting better in the country. And we need to support him. Not only him, but the area I'm having issue is...
sorry, Mr. Show, before you go to the area you're having issue, do we know why there's such a change? I mean, look at, for instance, the rice. I think rice, I was saying that rice is the hamper of this year. It's just a lot of people prefer that. Do we know why the price, or what has driven the price from about 100,000 last year to about half of that?
See, people in this country, some people believe they can displease people and please themselves. Now, if you look at these beans, there's no reason why beans will be 220,000 naira last year. Today is 90-something. Why? People hoard those things. Somebody will take 1 billion naira to the market and buy beans and kept it somewhere. in anticipation that the beans, because he bought many, the beans will be very expensive. You bought beans at the rate of maybe 80,000 naira. You are selling for 220,000 naira. Is that government too? Can't be attributed to the government? No. We are doing ourselves. That's why I see so many occasions. Okay. Now you bought beans at 90,000 naira and you are selling for 220 people for people, not even government. That's what's happened. People will go and buy gari, they'll go and buy rice, they'll go and do. In fact, some farmers even kept their items until this goes up. So this year, the threat from federal government that whoever has store anything, they'll go and break the store and make sure that things. That's why everybody is now bringing. That is the reason why this thing is coming down. It's artificial now. Nigerians are farming. Despite the fact that there are security challenges in the country, Nigerian farms, they still go to the farm. So now, last year, we have a bunch of beans. I know of a woman who bought 1 billion naira beans. She's begging me to come and sell it at anyhow. I said, look, and I told her that, madam, this will not take you anywhere. When you buy beans at the rate of 90,000 naira, you want to sell at 320,000 naira. In anticipation of you making money, now she's in trouble. And I told her, I'm not in support of people keeping items. Food is meant for us. Farmers will go to the farm. Let him have a privilege to go to the farm and do farming with his two eyes open. Bring it to the market, sell and make money. And it will be, let it be a kind of marathon chain so that things will be moving. But somebody will go and buy it and keep it so that it will be expensive. And that is not too good. You're not helping the country. That is why this thing, now everything is flat. They are crying every day. Every day, people who kept this
hoarding their
every day they are crying. And I want them to keep on crying. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. Because not all Nigerians have money to buy these food items. Now it's coming down to the level where people can eat at will. So we thank Mr. President for his yeoman's job, and we continue to support him to ensure that food gets more cash, so that you and I will have food at home.
Yes, my brother. So, but do you see this, is this a trend that you think has come to stay? You know, the fact that at least we can have a steady supply of food.
Yes, monitoring. Federal government, now that the food is down, there's every need for federal government to also put eyes on that, because Nigerians doesn't care what you have if you're a rich man. No, what Nigerian cares for is for them to have a good food, you know, have a cater for the hospital bill, they can even pay hospital bills, live in a good house. That's what Nigeria wants. Nigerians are good people. And let me tell you something, Eni Thompson. Nigerian food is the cheapest food all over the world. I'm telling you. It's only in Nigeria that with 500 naira, you can still have something in your stomach. Try other countries. But people doesn't believe in this. Now, the food items, look, let me give you another instance. Food items is very cheap now. Tomato, as of yesterday in the market, is 35,000 naira, big basket. Last year, tomato was about 60,000, 70,000 naira. Now, the food vendors, I don't want to mention any outlet, food vendors and hoteliers, up till now, they've not reduced the price of the food. They did not even add the portion, nor reduce the price. So is that federal government too? So the angle I'm blaming federal government is there is need for them to also put eyes on that. They should put eyes on that. If you are saying, okay, because you raise your food to 3,500 because tomato is cheap, is high, tatashe is high, now that it's cheap, bring your price down. They did not. All the eateries did not bring down. Their argument is Maggi did not come down, Ororo did not come down. This Ororo, you can use it twice, but you cannot use tomato twice. It's only once. Why can't they bring the price down? Look at bread. Wheat as last year, wheat is about almost 100 plus wheat. This year is about 70. Maize, last year, 70,000 naira, 100,000 naira. Now, wheat is about 45. Bread is still expensive. I know of the place that are still selling bread, 1,800 bread in this outlet. I won't mention anybody's name. Why are they still like that? Okay, last year too, you know, egg was 4,500. At the peak of expense, because most of these poultry farms have almost closed their factories at that time. But they're selling egg at the rate of 4,500 per crate. Now, all those items they're using is cheap. Is it rice, GNC, all other things they're using is becoming cheap. And eggs still remain 6,000 naira. Why? So there's need for federal government to also put eyes on those people. Everything, okay, when the price is now 6,000 naira, you are still blaming Tinubu. What is in business there? He has done what he was supposed to do to ensure that he monitor food come down, and it's down now. You are still making the price high. These are things that at least has nothing to do with federal government. We are blaming federal government. We are just using federal government as an umbrella where so anybody can just shield himself. There's also need for them, the federal government, to put eyes on all those things I'm talking about. The eateries, their food should come down. If you are selling at 3,500, 2,500, now that these items are cheap, reduce your price to 1,500. People can afford. The only person that knows cheap food price is down is you, who has a husband, me that have a wife that can go to my job market, another market, and buy this item and use them for 5-6 days. But people who move out, in the morning and maybe in the afternoon they go to any eateries and eat food, they won't know. They won't identify that because the eateries still remain stagnant with their price or old price.
That's the point you have raised there. That's the point you have raised. Yeah. But on the other side, the farmers, I spoke to a farmer, I think last week or so, and they are not finding this funny because with the prices reducing, that means they have to sell cheaper, and that affects their revenue.
Yeah, it affects them. Really, it affects farmers. I can tell you the farmers are not finding it very easy. But that's area I also want federal government to come in. Assist the farmers with cheapest fertilizers. If fertilizer is cheap, farmer cannot complain of things are getting cheaper. Federal government should do everything possible to ensure that they get fertilizer and whatever farmers need, a kind of grant, assistance, so that we sustain this particular matter we are in now.
Because if not, a farmer told me some people will be leaving the farm.
If not, they will leave the farm.
Yeah.
And any country who doesn't support its farmers, definitely the country at the verge of collapsing. Farmers need to be supported, and also that's also part of my view. They need to support the farmer. Now, even the transporters, yesterday in the market, because people are so happy, I have to go and stand into the transporter and see what they are doing. They are hiking the price of the buses. And I said, it's not going to work. Because if somebody buys tomato for 35,000 naira and you are asking the person to take each basket 5,000 naira from here to Lekki, how much is one basket from the north to this place? You are telling me go slow. I said, no, hold up. You must take it for 3,000 naira. And that's what happened yesterday. Almost 10 lorries that were loaded from Mile 12 to other places. I make sure I stood there. They reduced the price to 3,000 naira because at the end of the day, the woman will go and shoot the price up. So they must bring it down. We need to monitor things. But monitoring things will get better. Okay, these transporters now, when the fuel was 1,000 plus, 900, they still take the same price they're taking from Oshodi to Mile 12. Now the price is down. Did they reduce the price? Is anybody monitoring them? We need to monitor all those guys. Monitor the traders, monitor food vendors, monitor feeders, monitor transporters. If our government would do that, all those agencies are there, but I don't think they're working. If the agencies are working perfectly, I'm telling you, nobody will complain of food again.
Yeah. And that is how we can sustain
Exactly.
this.
That's how we can sustain all these cheap things that we are enjoying all over the country now.
Mr. Shaw, before I let you go, the issue of preservation and post-harvest losses, is there anything being done? So a lot of times, you would see these tomatoes, because it's in season, it's even rotting. Is there any conscious efforts to preserve it, store them, so that when we're not really in season, we can have them?
That is a huge issue. I've been to South Africa and I saw what they are doing. From the farm, like Zizi farm, they are very big farmers in South Africa. We don't have those farmers in Nigeria. That is the problem. The farmers we have are local farmers. Farmer that will just farm, cultivate, harvest, and bring to the market straight. So whatever you have in the market is yours. But those other ones, they have good seeds of tomato. That tomato can be preserved in a very cool place, just like this your place. Tomato can be preserved here perfectly well, and nothing will happen to it for 4 or 5 days. We don't have that in the country. So it's a different ball game entirely. But what I also want federal government to do is to ensure that people who are being paid should also, patronize us. At least when...
Are they not patronizing? Are they still importing?
I don't know. I don't want to go to that area. They need to patronize. They need to patronize us. When they patronize us, at least the post-harvest losses will be minimal.
All right, thank you so much for sharing those experiences with us. We really appreciate it. The chairman of Mile 12 International Market, Mr. Shehu Usman. Thank you. And Merry Christmas once again.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Happy. And a new year in advance. By God's grace, by next year too, food items will be, tomato will be around 6,000 to 7,000 by God's grace. Amen. We need to praise the president.
Amen. All right, let's take a break now. When we come back, we're still discussing food, strawberries. That's what we'll be talking about. After the break, please stay with us. Welcome back. We're still discussing food. This time we're discussing strawberries. And, well, I have a confession, but I will say it now. Well, these strawberries very interesting, and they sound very foreign when you're talking about it in Nigeria. But guess what? We actually do produce strawberry in Nigeria. I'd like to give you a bit of statistics about that. In Nigeria, estimated annual production is at about 3,000 tons. I don't know if that's enough for a great country like Nigeria. It's valued, that's the industry, is valued at $2 million as at late 2025. Nigeria imported 1,548 shipments between March 2023 and February. That's an increase of almost 200% year-on-year. Profitability there in the industry, commercial yields average 15 to 30 tons per hectare. And then making it one of the most profitable emerging crops in the country. States, mainly Plateau State, is the primary hub of that. And I have to confess that, honestly, I got really excited when I heard that we do have strawberries in Nigeria. I really didn't know that until I wanted to treat this topic or until the news broke out. And I have someone here who will educate me even more today, Ms. Adela Balogun. She's the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Lim Lim Foods. Good morning, Ms. Balogun, and welcome to the program, Compliment of the Season.
Wishing you the same too. Good morning. Lovely to be here.
Thank you. So, I mean, I think it's exciting. Strawberries is a very attractive and sophisticated looking. So I honestly didn't know that we have that much production in Nigeria.
Oh, wow, we do. We have a lot more than what you even quoted. We have about 100 farmers farming strawberries in hectares of land, hundreds of hectares of land across Vaughan in Jos. The yield is about 30 tons per hectare. And we're talking about, it's a big market. It's about, if well supported, we're talking about trillions in naira for the market value for strawberries in Nigeria.
Is it just in Plateau State? I know the weather is a major determinant of where.
Yeah, so the weather encourages it. Yes, you can plant in other parts of the country under controlled temperature, where you have greenhouses and the likes, but that makes it more expensive, because they're also competing with the imports that are still coming in. And what we want to do is to encourage local production such that those imports reduce. There's no need, it's like a paradox. On one hand, we're growing it in Nigeria, and then we're importing it in Nigeria. We want to empower our farmers. We want to make them, get better.
Because I see here, imported 1,548 shipments, within just how many months? When we can actually do it, or is the insecurity a challenge also? I know Plateau State has had a lot of incidents.
Exactly. So the insecurity is part of it, but the major issue is that strawberries have a very short lifespan, 1 to 4 days. And so previously we used to air freight from Jos down, and we only had one air freight company doing that. Unfortunately, they stopped air freighting by October. Now the season starts from November, and then it peaks at January, February, March, ends by March once the rain starts. And so the issue now is, how do we get this down south in Lagos?
Because you already have crops that have been harvested.
Yes, some have been harvested, but they are now shipping to the closer regions like Abuja, Kaduna, Kano. But down south in Lagos, we have bulk buyers. We have a group of buyers, and we've come together to form a group. And we're saying, how do we get it down low, down southwest? And that's why we're making a lot of noise about it, that we need to be involved. Government is trying, there are parties involved, talking to the farmers, but the whole value chain needs to be involved. From the farmers down to the processors across the value chain. It's a food system. And
so what exactly is the problem now? The airline that used to go to Plateau State to cargo has stopped, and it used to be just one.
Used to be just one. And we were okay with the pricing, even though the price of the air freight was almost as close as the price of the product per kg. We didn't mind that we're getting it down south. We're talking about restaurants, smoothie bars, food processors like us. We process them and turn them into powders and snacks. And so a whole lot of value chain players are down south here. If we don't get them in January, February, March, we would have to buy the imported products. And that would be a very big shame for Nigeria.
So while we are celebrating lower food items, we have these threats coming if you do not get them by January. Yes. And trying to get them by road, that's another story.
Oh boy, oh boy. You heard what the chairman of Mile 12 said about the roadblocks. The last time we tried it, we turned into prayer warriors with fingers crossed, praying that the things came down. And by the time they came down, we lost about 30% of the crops. So yeah, road is good if we have no choice. But the best form of transportation is by air. In 1 hour, it's down in Lagos. People that are going to use it are able to start processing, pre-processing, and keeping them for their production all year round. For us, we have it available all year round. Even though the season is very short, you can always have it all year round if it is well managed.
Because you're processing it, you're adding value, we're putting it into powders.
Yes, and then once you rehydrate with our own processing method, you can barely tell the difference between the fresh product and the processed product. It goes back to its natural state.
And so this road issue comes up again.
Exactly.
Insecurity, bad road, taxes on the road. Yeah. I wonder when we will stop talking about
God
this.
Will help us. We're praying that the government comes into this and really puts... So it's like a double-edged sword. Yes, the roadblocks, we want them there for security reasons. But at the same time, we don't want those taxes because it's already piling up the price of the raw materials. By the time it gets down here, it's way too expensive. And it's not just for strawberries. It happens for when we go and get bananas also. The price of the banana itself is very cheap. But by the time the truckload is getting to our facility in Lagos, it's about double the price of the cost of the products. Same thing for mangoes from Benue when we go and get them, because we buy straight from the farms across Nigeria.
And you also have the issue of the bad roads, which makes them spend more time, and these are very delicate fruits.
Exactly. So you have bad roads, you have bad vehicles also. The last truckload of mangoes that we got spent about 5 days on the road. By the time they got to our facilities, we had 60% poor, bad mangoes that was delivered to us. So you can imagine doing that for strawberries that has 4 days. Mangoes can still last 1 week, but strawberries just have 4 days. We only have a 4 days window to get this thing to the processors as quickly as possible before it starts losing value.
But talking about vehicles, shouldn't there be some specialized cooling vans or something that should be transporting those things to the down south?
So we have some, and we've started talking to some people. After the post on LinkedIn went viral, people have been reaching out to us, and we started talking to some people, and we're looking at that as a backup plan. But we also know the road checkpoints are going to increase the pricing of the landing cost of the product by the time it gets to Lagos. That's the major thing. The fastest is cargo. We wish to have cargo companies that are ready to take things from Jos, not just for the strawberry season. There are other products also grown in Jos, grapes, passion fruit, and so many other lovely products that can be reprocessed down south in Lagos.
So can we just plead to the airlines? Maybe we should look at the camera here, this one, and plead to them, please come to our aid, come to Plateau State.
So we're calling on cargo companies and even airlines. We have a thriving business in Jos, and we need your help and support to make Nigeria great. The value chain is big. If we don't get this done in this season, a lot of women, a lot of families are going to lose their means of livelihood. And they say when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. So we need this support, not as a one-stop thing, but as a continuous, because it's all about the system operating. Thank you.
All right, I know they will hear, and I know something will happen. Yeah, so, but looking at it bigger now, perhaps you guys also have the duty of making strawberry and those other elitist perceived fruits to be more common, you know, more adopted. That way you would have had a lot of people talking on your behalf, you know. So maybe we should create more products, make it more accessible, less expensive, you know.
So that's what we're doing. So my company, we stand as a processor. We are a processor. We have other users like smoothie bars, restaurants, and stuff like that use them. But we are a processor, so we turn them into powders and snacks. So by doing so, it means that all year round, even when strawberry is out of season, you would always have your supplies of strawberries. So those are doing strawberry daiquiri. You don't have to wait for, you don't have to go and buy the import. There's no reason why anyone should be buying imported strawberries when we are there, because we take them and turn them into products that can last for 2-3 years without spoilage. That's what we are there for. And that's part of identifying key players in the value chain.
But how do you differentiate between the imported one? Because some people may not know, and I don't, is ours cheaper?
Ours is slightly cheaper. Okay. It's slightly cheaper. So the ours has a very short period window. So once it's after
March. Because they have a lot of chemicals to preserve.
Exactly. So you ask yourself, why would I have a fruit that's going to last, that's been shipped from maybe South Africa or some other country, and it's still in Nigeria and it's still looking fresh? You should be asking those questions. But ours has a 1 to 4 days window. And so what we do is that we freeze them, we clean them, we freeze them, we pack them, so you can have them all year round. And so we're saying, Nigerians, please buy Nigeria to make Nigeria great.
Well, what are some features I can use to know between the imported and the Nigerian?
I think it's just packaging. For the imported ones, they come in those transparent packs. For the Nigerian ones, because they're coming straight from the farms in cartons, I wish we had the videos to show them.
Yeah, well, the videos have been showing.
Okay, so they come in cartons, so there's no real packaging. So it's on us, the processors.
Like that? Is that it?
That's my process. Okay, so it comes in those cartons, yes. So it comes in those cartons, so there's no finance around getting them in those small packs, because there's no cold chain system that is fully established from farm to table in Nigeria yet. So you have them in frozen bags sold in supermarkets around Nigeria.
But I mean, these ones have a bit of greens. That's the Nigerian one.
That's the stem.
Okay, that's the stem. Okay, I was just looking for a way perhaps we can differentiate it. So once you see, you know.
I think it's just packaging for now.
It's just packaging for now. Okay, all right. Well, we do hope that, I mean, this message will change things. I mean, imagine how much we will save as a country.
We're talking about billions here. Yeah. Billions in value.
In importing strawberries.
So we're talking about jobs, livelihood, FX impact for the economy. The impact is far-reaching than what we think about.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and we certainly do wish that, you know, some of those airlines and cargo in the value chain would do something about it. The Chief Operating Officer of Lim Lim Foods, Ms. Adeola Balogun, and Merry Christmas once again.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
All right, let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll see what's happening in the global scene. Please stay with us. Going global now, a planned Christmas Eve jazz concert at the Kennedy Center was cancelled, with the host of the longtime annual performance attributing the decision to the addition of Republican U.S. President Donald Trump's name to the institution in Washington. The board of the Kennedy Center, which the president failed with allies during a broad takeover earlier this year, decided that to add Trump's name to the institution, and that horrified Democrats and raised questions about the legality of the change. The board then voted to rename the Washington landmark the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts, or Trump Kennedy Center for short, just to have a bit of Christmas touch there, which doesn't seem to be a very pleasant one for the United States. Now, packaged food makers and fast food restaurants may be forced to overhaul more of their products next year as newly approved appetite-suppressing GLP-1 pills becomes available from January. More Americans are expected to try the drug as a pill rather than as a shot, because the medication will be cheaper and many patients are hesitant to inject themselves. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Novo GP1 pill on Monday, sending shares of food companies down on Tuesday. Eli Lilly's rival medication is expected to gain approval from regulators next year, and food companies, including Conagra brands and Nestle, are already dealing with shifts in consumer tastes towards higher protein and smaller portions because of the popularity of weight loss injections. And analysts believe that widespread GLP-1 adoption could mean long-term changes in demand. European Union's executive branch has warned that it would respond to any unjustified measures after the U.S. State Department barred 5 Europeans it accuses of pressuring American tech companies to censor or limit U.S. viewpoints. The European Commission, which supervises tech regulation in Europe, said it has requested clarification about the move. A spokesperson for the Commission said it strongly condemns the U.S. decision, adding freedom of expression is a fundamental right in Europe and a shared core value with the United States across the democratic world. The Europeans, who are labeled as radical activists by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, include the EU Commissioner responsible for supervising social media rules. And Mr. Burton, a former French finance minister, engaged in a social media dispute last year with tech billionaire Elon Musk over airing an online interview with Donald Trump in the months before the U.S. election. We move to Asia now, where the Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi government plans to unveil a record initial budget for the fiscal year starting in April, increasing outlays at faster pace than inflation. The budget for the year beginning April 2026 will be about 122.3 trillion yen, and that is equivalent to about $786 billion. Takaichi has said on Tuesday that an increase of roughly 6.3% from the 115.2 trillion yen allocated for the current fiscal year, marking the largest initial budget on record. Still in Japan, the government has revised up its economic forecast for the fiscal year to next March and projected that growth would accelerate in the following year on the view that its massive stimulus package will boost consumption and capital expenditure. The projections are the first to be compiled under this present Prime Minister's administration, which has announced big spending plans aimed at cushioning the blow to households from rising living costs while promoting investment in growth areas. Under the latest projections approved by the cabinet, the government expects Japan's economy to expand 1.1% in the current fiscal year, up from 0.7% growth estimated in August due to smaller than expected hit from U.S. tariffs. Growth is expected to accelerate to 1.3% in the fiscal year of 2026 as robust consumption and capital expenditure offsets soft overseas demand. This is according to the projections. The government said it expects consumption to rise 1.3% next fiscal year, the same pace projected for the fiscal year of 2025, as tax breaks and moderating inflation underpin household spending. Now, Toyota Motor Corporation sales and production fell in November, weighed down in large part by a sharp drop in China as the country discontinued subsidies that's meant to boost the sales of electric and fuel-efficient cars. Global sales, including at subsidiaries Daihatsu Motor Co. and Hino Motors Limited, fell 1.9% in the period from a year earlier to 965,919 units. The Japanese car maker said that production shrank 3.4% to 934,001 vehicles. And Taiwan stocks, they were higher after close on first day as gains in the semiconductor, oil, gas, and electricity and construction sectors led shares higher. At the close in Taiwan, the Taiwan weighted added 0.57%. The best performance of the session on the Taiwan weighted were Universal Microelectronics Company Limited, which rose 9.96%, that's about 3.35 points, to trade at 37 at the close, while the Technology Incorporated added 9.94%, that's about 3.50 points, to end at 38.7, and Evermore Chemical Industry also was up at the close of trade. We end in Thai, where Thailand posted a higher than expected trade deficit for a second month as a jump in import outpaced sluggish export growth, underscoring economic risks, including a stronger baht that threatens competitiveness. Well, the trade deficit last month was $2.73 billion, exceeding the $1.36 billion forecast in a survey by economists. The nation's trade balance swung to a $3.4 billion deficit in October, and that's the biggest gap since January 2023. Those are the top stories from the global scene this Christmas Day, and that's it on Business Morning. Thank you so much for being a part of this Christmas edition of the program. It's not over yet. At 1:30, I'll be back to give you updates from the world of business. Christmas Day might be, but we still do business. I'll see you at 1:30. I'm Ini John Mekwa.